Alright, so I'm going to be priming my face with something I'm not really sure if I actually like it or not. I've only used it once because I wasn't like, oh my god, I love this kind of thing, but it is the new Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This isn't like the Benefit Professional. This is going to be more like the L'Oreal Miracle Blur, from what I understand. So we'll just prime with that. For foundation today, I'm going to be using something that I know I do love, and that is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. And my color is 810 Classic Ivory, and I'm just going to pump that onto the back of my hand. And then I'm going to use my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to apply that, because technically this is the drugstore version of a beauty blender, and it's only $5.99 at Ulta, so I'm just going to use this to apply my foundation today instead of my beauty blender, because we are doing drugstore. And just random, I did take that all the way into my hairline where my hair is shaved. I did blend it back onto my hair, actually, because it looks kind of wonky if you don't do that. Anyway, for concealer, I'm going to start off with my Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer. This is like one of my holy grail products for sure, and I'm going to use that in the center of my face. And then I'm actually going to take it on the tops of my cheekbones as well to help highlight there, because normally I use MAC Pro Longwear in a much lighter shade, and I don't have anything like that at the moment, so I'm just going to put it on like that to highlight the center of my face, and I'm going to blend all this out. I will be right back. Then I went ahead and concealed my blemishes off camera just because I feel like that takes a lot of the time, but I use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer to do that. So for my under eyes today, I'm going to use the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline in the color Light. I did rip the sponge off, and even though I am almost out of it, I use a ton less product. So if you rip the sponge off of the applicator, you are going to use a lot less product. I promise you that. So I'm just going to apply that under my eyes. Just really keeping it under my eyes, since I did highlight with the Rimmel concealer around that area already. I do think this concealer works really well under the eyes, but if I had to choose, I would definitely choose my MAC Pro Longwear concealer, just because it lasts and it doesn't crease at all. Going through my makeup, I've realized I pretty much have a dupe for half the high-end stuff I use, which is kind of funny. But to set under my eyes, I'm going to use the e.l.f. HD powder. It's just a clear, it says it's clear, but it's a, it just has no color. So it is just white like the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. However, I do find that since this is actually an HD powder, you are going to get a flashback or a white cast with this. So you might not want to use something like this if you are going to be taking pictures. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to use my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and I just have it in the transparent shade. So even though it does look quite colored, it's not going to add any more color to the skin, and I am just going to apply that to the areas where I did not apply the HD powder. Face, and I'm really surprised because I'm about to hit pan on this. I don't know if you can see the rings, but I don't really use this that much because it's not my favorite. But I am about to hit pan on it, which is kind of amazing. I did already go ahead and bronze my face, and I used my Real Techniques contour brush, like normal, but I did use the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer in Sunny. This is probably one of my favorite drugstore bronzers. It is just a little bit orange for me right now, so I don't tend to use it in winter when I am very pale, as opposed to just pale in the summer. But if you are looking for a good bronzer that is super inexpensive, that will definitely fit in a tight budget, $2.50 at Target. This is a great little bronzer. For my blush today, I'm going to start off with Mellow Mauve by e.l.f. This fell out of the pan, but anyway, and then I'm just going to kind of start applying that on the very apple of my cheek and just kind of blend it back and work it back some. And then over top of that, I'm going to apply a little bit of Wet n Wild's Heather Silk blush, which is matte. And these are really amazing blushes too. They are like $2.99, maybe cheaper than that. I could only find a price at Walgreens, but I'm fairly certain that I did not pay $2.99 for this. And then I'm just going to really kind of apply that on the apples of the cheeks and just blend it back a little bit. Just like that. Then for my highlight today, I'm going to be using Hard Candy's blush in Honeymoon. This is so light that it doesn't even show up on my pale butt. But it works amazingly as a highlighter. And I'm just going to apply that to the tops of my cheeks and kind of bring it around. I don't know, I've been into this whole like bringing it around up onto my brow bone. I don't know. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't tell really that much in this lighting, but this is just a super beautiful highlight. It kind of looks very natural because it does have like pink and gold and purple in it. So I think it kind of gives a really natural like skin tone finish, which is really nice. As you can see, my brows and one eye are done, and for my brows I use the Jordana Fabubrow in Taupe. This is almost an exact dupe to my Makeup Forever brow pencil color-wise. Formula-wise, this is a much more waxy pencil. However, it is only $2.99, I believe, at Walgreens, and it is a very good product. To prime my eyes today, I am using a Rimmel Scandaleyes eyeshadow stick. These are waterproof, so they do set, and they do work very well as eyeshadow primers. So I'm just going to smudge that all over the lid, just like so, and blend it out. And if I didn't mention, this is the color Bulletproof Beige. It's really just kind of a champagne-y gold color. It's not really beige in my head. Then to start off the eyeshadow, I pulled out my Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. I don't use this palette enough, and I really do love the colors in this. And so to start things off, I'm going to take this lightest shade in here on a stiff flat brush, and I'm going to apply that to the corner of my eyes. Just patting it. Then I'm going to go into the CoverGirl Coffee Shop. Is that what this called is? Yeah, Coffee Shop Quad. Very pretty colors in this, great pigmentation. And just on my ring finger, I'm going to pick up this gold shade here. And I'm going to apply that to the rest of my lid. And then just to make sure everything blends, I'm going to pick the same gold up on a fluffy brush and just kind of smooth all of that out and just running it over where the gold is not really hitting that other color. Then I'm going to go back into my Wet n Wild palette. I'm going to pick up this second lightest color on the same fluffy brush, and I'm going to start working that into my crease. Just, you know, kind of messy. This is going to be my transition shade, and it's also going to blend out any harsh lines and just really kind of buff that around till you get it how you want it. Then I'm going to pick up a more dense fluffy brush, maybe a little more tapered, I guess is probably a better word. And then just moving down one more in the Coffee Shop Quad, I'm going to pick that color up on the brush, and then I'm going to apply that into my crease as well, keeping this a little more in the crease, not being so wild with it when you're blending it. Then just flipping over my brush to the flat liner side, I'm going back into that same brown I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. Then picking up, where did it go? This brush here, this is my Real Technique shader brush. I'm going to go back into this color here. And I'm going to use that to kind of blend out and smoke out the bottom lash line a bit. Then, going back into my coffee shop quad, I'm picking up the darkest brown shade here, and again just on my same shader brush. I'm going to then just apply that directly into the crease, making sure to really stay in the crease, not going above or below. And this will just really define the crease. And I'm bringing it around the edge a little bit just to round out my eye, because I do have very round eyes normally. And then just on that same brush, I'm going to take a little bit under the eye as well. Then just to soften the top edge of the eye, I'm going in with this matte, or not matte, maybe it is matte, this matte cream shade here in the coffee shop palette. And on a slightly more fluffy brush than usual, I'm just going to take and blend that over the top of the edges of the makeup and make sure everything is soft and there aren't any harsh lines. I'm going to dip into the darkest shade in this palette with my Real Techniques accent brush, and I'm going to use that as liner because I realized I don't have any liner that is Drugstore. I, for some reason, just don't. So yeah, just blending that into the lashes really, and kind of bringing it up on the outer corner and creating the slightest illusion of a flick. Then I'm also going to run that on the very outer corner of the eye as well. For mascara today, I used two of CoverGirl's. The first one is the CoverGirl Flamed Out. The second one is the CoverGirl Exact Eyelights in Black Sapphire, which is for blue eyes. And then I forgot to hit record when I was putting on my lipstick. First, I used this Revlon Color Burst in Pink Sugar. It is just a nude lip gloss with some gold glitter in it. It's probably my favorite Revlon lipstick. And then I used my NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee. But really, you could do whatever. So that finishes my full face Drugstore makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys kind of liked seeing what Drugstore products I use, because I know I use a ton of high-end products normally, or more expensive products. So a lot of these are super affordable and super inexpensive, and they're also really good quality products. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye.